So I woke up this morning, as I often do. I guess that's good because if I didn't, that would mean I'm dead, probably. And I saw, no, wait, this was last night. Scratch the beginning. I saw that Lindsay Ellis was trending on Twitter. And it's almost never a good thing when that happens, especially if Twitter doesn't add a little explanation box underneath the trending tag, because it means you've been canceled. So I wanted to see, and I went online and I saw people are calling Lindsay Ellis racist. People are saying that Lindsay Ellis is anti-Asian. People said Lindsay Ellis called people crazy. Let's dig more into this. So, being the investigative journalist that I am, I tweeted out basically what happened. People responded, and this is the tweet. Also, watched Raya and the Last Dragon, and I think we need to come up with a name for this genre that is basically ATLA, reduxes. It's like half of all young adult fantasy published in the last few years anyway. Fascinating. Whatever could she have meant by this? Now, there's some more context to that, and I thought, okay, all right, okay, so we're going to go over to Lindsay Ellis's Twitter to find out more. Except, wait, she deleted her Twitter. You type Lindsay Ellis, you get a whole lot of other Lindsay Ellis's, not her. So whatever the drama was, she deleted her Twitter over it. It must have been fairly severe. I imagine she'll be back at some point, but, until then. So I thought, all right, let's take a look at the trending tag. Maybe we'll learn more. So let's find out together, huh? Anyone check Movie Bob? Oh, that's a movie. Movie Bob. Joke. Lindsay Ellis couldn't take actual criticism from what she said by people who knew more than she did. That's why she deleted her account. That's it. This is a narrative that I see a lot when people are canceled online. It's that they can't take actual criticism. That's a really, really, really common one. Let's see. What do we got? Do we have any of the actual initial cancel juice? Or are we, Oh, this is another cancellation. Finally got around to watching Soul, and woof, that ending. Yeah, I get that it's an allegory, but the central conceit does require romanticizing the souls of the unborn in a way that doesn't make sense to me. Finally, a Pixar film for the pro-life crowd. Tweeting this now because this is the only thing I'll ever say about this movie. Yike, yike, yike. Fields of yikes. Can I say soy face even if we're talking about a woman? I can, right? We're soying over here a little bit. Yike, yike, yike. Yeah. Joe gave up his life for miscarriage, super dark. No idea what this means. Never saw Soul. I'm Chad and anti-Pixar pilled. Okay? We're not watching any of that shit. All right? So let's see. People are mad. People are mad. I can't believe Lindsay Ellis began her review of Raya by saying, hello, I'm Lindsay Ellis with her eyes taped. Not doing that one, you clippers. You clip chippers. Justin Wang can say that, right? Isn't he like Asian? Yeah. Okay, we're going with it. Anyway, people are mad. People are mad at the people being mad. This isn't really telling me very much about why she was canceled. We have that tweet there. We have a Movie Bob meme again. We have a conservative. Lindsay Ellis being piled on and deleting her Twitter over the most mild of takes is just another reminder of how woke are merely a mob of hyenas willing to tear anyone that rises up down. Are you guys ready for the hottest take of the day? Probably the hottest take we're going to get today, okay? PSA Sitch, so I understand it. It's a dumb fuck, but this is true as hell. This is completely true. 100% true, okay? Progressives online, or at least a portion of them, are vindictive fuckers, okay? That hate people who succeed in their own communities. To them, success and authenticity are diametrically opposed, and anybody who succeeds must then be unauthentic. Sorry, but this is a valid criticism. That was the Soul take again. Man, I'm really not getting anything, Because I saw people saying that Lindsay Ellis had, dropped both of the nukes on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. But I'm not seeing anything to substantiate that. Also, I've been asleep half the day, but seeing people drag Lindsay Ellis brings me joy. I've had her blocked ever since she said Zack Snyder hates his mother and other terrible-ass takes about his movies. Can't say I know very much about Snyder's relationship with his mom. Hello there, Xander Hall. How you doing? Remember when Lindsay Ellis said cis women were more oppressed than trans men, lol? Oh shit, wait, this could be cancelable. So the original tweet says, I've also been thinking about what it says that you are more able to make this argument than your colleague. Contrary to the theory, more marginalized people seem more vulnerable to canceling, and as a cis woman, your views are less vulnerable to bad faith nitpicks. And then Lindsay says, yep, as a cis woman, I am allowed much less good faith than my male colleagues, and not going to lie, seeing how they're treated versus me play out on social media still bugs the shit out of me, but trans women get even less, both from their own community and from outside of it. And then this person says, your cis male colleagues, right? I feel like trans men do not get good faith either when they're allowed in at all. Okay, I feel like Lindsay Ellis's statement here made sense on its own. I feel like this edition just kind of seems like woke baiting, like you're trying to bait out like the implication that Lindsay Ellis was being exclusionary. And then we got, I know there's a second image, dumb fucks. And then Lindsay responds, honestly, no. Anecdotally, the trans men I've known who transition in the public eye got way less harassment after they transitioned. So, men. Misogyny. Which is definitely a contentious take. I think there's definitely some potential legitimacy to it. I've known a fair few trans men, and depending on how well they pass and what their environment is like, they definitely do benefit from elements of male privilege further on into their transition, and far enough, they benefit from almost all of them. Say, for example, God, what's his name? Buck Angel? She said in the public eye? Yeah, well, Buck Angel, for example. So Buck Angel is a trans guy, but if you put, like, Buck Angel and a cis woman together in a room, I'm pretty sure people are gonna, like, I'm pretty sure the tropes about taking men more seriously than women are going to come in full force here. You know what I mean? No transition in the public eye. No, I understand you. Buck Angel is very visibly a trans man, okay? And he's been doing this for decades and decades. Now, I'm not saying that what Lindsay Ellis said was necessarily correct or always correct, because, I mean, she says anecdotally right here, every trans guy's not Buck Angel. Hello, Twitch chat, my good friends. I love you guys, okay? Did I say every trans guy is Buck Angel? Did I say that Lindsay Ellis's statement applies to every single trans man? Did I at any point say that every single trans man benefits from every element of male privilege at all points in time? Or did I qualify my statement with like 6 qualifiers, saying in some cases and for some people? Holy shit, shut the fuck up. Oh my God, you're as bad as the people we're about to make fun of on Twitter, okay? Chill. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I guess this is potentially contentious, but I don't know. It doesn't seem too bad to me. I mean, you could argue it. There's maybe a discussion to be had here. After all, she's not saying trans men don't get treated poorly. She's saying that they get less harassment after they transition. So, I don't know. Something to be discussed there. Maybe, you know. In regards to Lindsay Ellis talking about Raya, I still have no urge to see that film at all, but saying it's like ripping off ATLA is like hearing jazz music and thinking, oh, this is like Persona 5. Wait, if this person hasn't seen Raya and the Last Dragon, how can they possibly say that comparing it to ATLA is unjustified? What? I mean, I haven't seen it. I don't know. Trans men do not get treated better than cis men if they're not stealth. Who's talking about cis men? I'm banning you. No, fuck you. I can only take so much. You're banned forever. Never come back to this chat or the internet in general. I never mentioned cis men at any point in the entirety of this conversation. The only cis man in this conversation was me. Sorry, that was unnecessary. It was unnecessary and probably a little cringy, but not as cringy as you. So thank you for casting the harsh light that, you know, overwhelmed my cringe, okay? All right. Asian plus Inuit cultures exist. Lindsay Ellis, I can't believe they stole from ATLA. So there really is nothing here, is there? There really is nothing here. Nobody canceled Lindsay Ellis. She canceled herself rather than apologize. That's called cowardice, not cancel culture. All right, I think we have all we need here. So here's the story, okay? We're a detective. We've gotten all the clues together, and we're a detective, and we're going to piece this together, okay? So Raya the Last Dragon. Have you guys seen the ads for that movie? Looks like trash. I'm not watching it. Apparently, it's like a group of friends go around the world to reunite like warring kingdoms type thing, which sounds kind of ATLAE, but it's an old archetype anyway. Anyway, Lindsay Ellis said that Raya and the Last Dragon is derivative of Avatar: The Last Airbender. And what people on Twitter interpreted that as was that Avatar: The Last Airbender and Raya are both the same because they're both Asian properties, which is really dumb because, as I understand it, neither of them are. There are people losing their mind on Twitter about how Lindsay Ellis is lumping all Asian media together, but ATLA is an American TV show, and Raya the Last Dragon is Disney. These stories, while they may be about Asian archetypes, cultures, mythos, themes, are fundamentally translated through the lens of Western discourse. So the idea that this is about boiling everything from Asia down into a single pot is, from the beginning, it's completely ridiculous. But anyway, so people interpreted this as like all Asian stuff is the same from Lindsay Ellis, when instead what Lindsay Ellis was doing, as I understand it, was comparing story structure. So, okay. And now there are people, jackals on Twitter, who are vindictively cackling and talking about how she did this to herself. So let's talk. Let's talk about this, okay? First of all, there was one other criticism. There were people, on top of this, the cultures in ATLA aren't even representative of IRL Asian culture. I thought they were meant to be like XBs of them, or proxies, right? The Earth Kingdom was China. The Fire Kingdom was Japan. The Water tribes were like Inuit, and the Air Nomads were like Tibetan, right? I feel like, yeah, I mean, it's not one-to-one. It's a fantasy world, but it's like a broad cultural, relation. Yeah. But it's obviously not like a perfect direct representation of, yeah. Well, anyway. Yeah, inspired by. Yeah, fine. As I understand it, Japanese people can't shoot fire out of their mouth. To my knowledge, I don't know. I've seen a lot of anime. I don't know what's real. It's been years since I've been to Japan and days since I've watched anime. I don't know what's real anymore, okay? There was one other criticism where Lindsay Ellis apparently called her detractors crazy. I don't know the context about that. However, I've got a hot take on this one. Anytime a content creator calls people on Twitter crazy, they're right. Just by default. It's Twitter. They're right. Just by default. Don't need to look more into it. Just, yeah, okay. There's just an overwhelmingly mathematical certainty that they're going to be accurately describing the character of the people that they're referring to. So let's be clear about this, okay? This is another bullshit, meaningless cancellation, exactly the same as we saw from ContraPoints. But there is one distinction, and that is that ContraPoints follows me on Twitter, and Lindsay Ellis didn't, which makes Lindsay Ellis a piece of shit. I don't know why I'm sticking my neck out for her. I have such a sterling, pristine, untarnished reputation, and here I am besmirching myself for the benefit of a dirty lowlife like Lindsay Ellis, but that's okay. We'll get into it. So, what are we supposed to do about this? It's unbelievable to me. The first thing, and I want to be really clear about this, that should have been done, Lindsay Ellis shouldn't have deleted her Twitter. Okay, this is going to sound a little bit foreheady, all right? I know it's going to sound a little bit foreheady, but if you get canceled online, you just have to ignore it, okay? Seriously. You just have to ignore it, all right? Anytime you give those woke jackals what they want and delete your Twitter or go private or blah, 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 all it does is embolden and empower them, okay? It's exactly the same as your bullies beating you up and you throwing candy at them like you're some kind of piñata. You're rewarding them for bad behavior, okay? You want to... Look, I have been canceled for infinitely worse shit than Lindsay Ellis has, and this happens to me all the time. There are people in my chat literally right now telling me that I'm the cusp of another cancellation for being correct. It's every day with this shit, okay? And do I delete anything? Absolutely not. Because it was give those motherfuckers satisfaction, all right? Absolutely not. Lindsay, being real here, okay? Now, when you're canceled on Twitter, it's not just people being mad on Twitter. It's also like people are DMing you, like you're getting warnings, like friends are reaching out being like, hey, you kind of missed on that one. That's the worst part of being canceled, by the way. When I go on Twitter, wake up one day, and I see billions of people saying Vaush bad, you know, whatever. It's my day job. But when I have like a mutual, like someone I kind of respect, they're like, hey, what's up with this? That's what gets my blood pressure rising. It's like, fucker, come on. We've done this 20 times. Don't. Shut up. I'm sure that happened with Lindsay Ellis as well. But yeah, you can't delete the Twitter. The other thing that deleting the Twitter does, or any kind of conciliatory action like that, is it gives the people who aren't in the know the impression that Lindsay Ellis actually did something bad. Because if there's a big cancellation, trending tag on Twitter, and then you see the person it's about deleted their Twitter account, that makes them look really, really guilty to begin with. You know? That, like, right off the bat, kind of in the eyes of, like, a random onlooker, it makes you look a hell of a lot more guilty than you would have if you had just chilled out there. So don't do that. Don't give these people what they want, okay? Twitter is a terrible app, and woke scolds are, I know this is a surprising opinion for me, terrible people. Or at least they act terribly. I probably shouldn't be so essentialist about it. The reality is, at the end of the day, is that if you are a popular, a content creator, prominent, whatever, in the left, people are going to hate you, okay? People are going to despise you. Because they do not like it when you succeed. It sounds like a haters stay haters kind of attitude, but unfortunately, it's pretty reflective of how these things go down. Nobody gets big unsmirched. There's always something. And if you want to make that go away, you have to stop taking them seriously, okay? This is one of the problems that I have with Big BreadTube. All of you fuckers agree with me, okay? I mean every single one of you, okay? Sean, Philosophy Tube, Lindsay Ellis, obviously Contra does on this matter. All H-Bomb, I know all of you agree with me on this. There is a community of people online who, and this is specific to the left, by the way, specific to the progressive left, who are incredibly vindictive and make it way harder to do our jobs because they are spiteful and they will willfully misinterpret anything that you have to say if they can use your cancellation to look extremely cool to their friends. We all know this is a thing, but we can't keep white gloving this. We can't. Because the long-term consequence of these people getting to run amok is that eventually some of you will drop your jobs, you've made your money, and now it's like, oh, well, this isn't worth putting up with anymore. Contra nearly did that. The long-term consequence of allowing this micro-community to fester is that it affects you people. And I mean you people. I'll be here forever. It affects you people. So it's in all of our best interest to lock arms on this one and just not give in. Don't give in at all. Just make your content. It's good content. I like your content. Lindsay, I watch your videos. I like the one on movies. And do not pretend that this sort of stuff doesn't happen. And I know they occasionally acknowledge it, but I mean, really, it's a real problem. Wow, Vosh just realized humans are flawed. That could be the name of this YouTube channel. Just the one video about movies. Yeah, there was a couple actually, but yeah. Oh yeah, one other thing, by the way, Twitter should have a button that only people with over 100,000 followers can use. And if you press it on another person who doesn't have over 100,000 followers, their phone explodes. I think that should be a thing that we should be able to do. I think that Twitter needs to further incentivize the existence of larger Twitter users. And the best way that we can do that is to be able to remotely detonate the phones of people we disagree with. I think that'd be good. It'd be a good idea. And I don't think there would be any consequences to that.